Okay, so welcome you back. In last video, we'll learn about the concept of general purpose input output in Atmega 328P based board. Now in this video, we'll see the next part, that is digital input and output. As previously, I told you that there are 23 programmable input output pins. These are general purpose input output. So there are three ports, port B, port C and port D. So there is total 23 input output pins are available to connect any interfacing device or sensors. However, some pins are having multi-functions. For example, PC6 is used for the reset pin, and PB6 and 7 are used for crystal oscillator, and further many other pins are multifunction. But these three pins are having the important function, like reset function for this PC6, and PB6 and 7 are used for crystal oscillator. So we cannot use these pins as a input output pins. So after these three pins excluded from these 23 programmable input output pins, so remaining 20 pins are now available to connect the input output devices. Now out of these 20 pins, the port pins PD0 to PD7 and PB0 to PB7 are used as a 14 digital input output pins. So these 14 pins are available as a digital input output pins, out of which again the 6 pins are available for pulse width modulation. Pulse width modulation, which is a technique by which we can change the width of this pulse. Hence, we can change the average output voltage. That is, if we reduce the width of the pulse, then there will be a reduction in output voltage. And if we uh, increase the width of pulse, then it will increase the output voltage. So this is a simple techniques in a DC motor speed control. This technique often useful. So these 6 pins are available for PWM pins. So again, I also here we can see this sign is given, the sinusoidal waveform, the pin number 9, 10, 11, 3, 5, 6. Practically these pin numbers are there on the board, which are available for PWM. So we can see it here. Now these are 14 digital input output, but the 6 pins out of these 20, PC0 to PC5, are used as a 6 analog inputs. So analog input pins are also there because ADC is inbuilt for this Atmega 328P. So 6 pins are dedicated for receiving analog inputs. Each digital pin can be configured as an input or output with the help of pin mode command. So this is the syntax pin mode, which is used to set the particular pin as an input pin or output pin. So we can set in next slide. We have to see it how we can use this command. In both modes, pin can send or receive data with two states only: on state, that is high 5 volt, and off state, that is low 0 volt. So we already seen that. So uh, when we summarize, there are 23 programmable input output pins are available, but out of these, the 3 pins are the dedicated function like reset and crystal oscillator. So remaining 20 programmable input output pins are available. Out of these 20, 14 pins are digital input output and 6 pins are analog inputs. And out of these 14, there will be 6 PWM pins. These are multifunction. As I said already earlier, we can use as a digital input output, or we can use as a PWM pins. Or also these 6 analog input pins we can also use as a digital pins. So analog input pins, and these are digital input and these are analog input. ATmega 328P contains 6 channel ADC, that is pin number A0 to A5 as I have shown here. The analog input pins A0 to A5 which are available. Because ADC is inbuilt, so it will convert the analog voltage to digital numbers with the help of this analog read function. So this is a syntax. It can read the analog signals. The resolution of this ADC is 10 bit. The resolution is 10 bit. The function returns an integer from 0 to 1023 corresponds to the input voltage. So it will generate an integer value from 0 to 1023. So if we supply 5 volt, if we change this 5 volt from 0 to 5 volt with the help of potentiometer, then it will convert these analog input voltages in terms of this digital value, that is from 0 to 1023. So it will convert that input voltage correspond to this value. These 6 analog pins can also be used as a digital pin if additional pins are required. So as I said earlier, these analog pins are available as a digital pins also. So if there is a function of analog, we can use it as analog, or we can use it as a digital if required. Though at that time the pin number will be like that: A0 becomes 14, A1 becomes 15, A2 becomes 16, A3 becomes 17, A4 becomes 18, and A5 becomes 19. So instead of this A0 to A5, we have to assign the numbers from 14 to 19. So these are analog input pins for Arduino. Now to select that particular pin as an input or output, we have some command, that is pin mode. And to write or read in the Arduino pin, we have the command digital write and digital read. So let us see one by one. So first of all, pin mode. So this configures the specific pin to behave either as an input or output. So we have to select that particular pin to behave as an input or output. So we can set by using this command. So its syntax is pin mode, pin number, and their mode, where pin is the pin number and the mode is input or output. So for example, pin mode 13 as output or pin mode 13 as an input. So this we have to use. When we want to set pin number 13 as output pin, so we have to use this command. If we have to set pin number 13 as an input pin, so it will receive data at pin number 13 and it will send the output data from pin number 13. So this syntax we have to use in the program. This Arduino pin can source or sinks current up to 40 milliampere. So this is very important thing. So it can supply current of 40 milliampere up to this current, which is sufficient to drive LED, LCD display, but not sufficient to drive motor or relays. So when you are connecting LED or the display, it is sufficient to provide that current. But if you are connecting or driving motors or relays, it is not sufficient. So you may either have to use the driver circuits or you can use the transistors. Next command is a digital write. When we want to write to the particular pin, so we have to use the digital write command. It will write high or low value to the digital pin. If the pin has configured as output with the help of pin mode command, its voltage will be set to the corresponding values, that is 5 volt for high and 0 volt for low. So it will set. If the pin is configured as an input, digital write will enable high or low the internal pull-up register. As I said explained already, what is pull-up register. So whenever any pin, digital input output pin, is set as an input, then we have to add enable or disable internal pull-up registers. So whenever required, we have to enable pull-up register, which is inbuilt in the IC. Their syntax is digital write pin and their value. value may be either high or low. For example, digital write 13 as a high. So what this command will send high signal or 5 volt to the pin number 13. If it is connected with an LED, so that LED will glow. Whenever this command digital write will send to pin number 13, so it will glow the LED. And whenever digital write 13 as a low, it will switch off the LED. So this can be useful for writing high and low. And the next is a digital read. So whenever we want to read the signal from any particular pin, so we can use this digital read command. To read data from sensors on any other device circuit, we need to configure digital pin as an input. Arduino pin are set as a digital input by default. So there is no need to configure a pin as an input. So it is by default it is an input pin, but we can also configure it as an input with the help of pin mode function. It will read the data from general purpose input output pins. Their syntax is digital read and the pin number. Simply we have to put up a pin number in the bracket, where pin is any digital input output pin number. So we can use here digital read pin number 13. So we can put up the pin number in the bracket, so it will read the signal. So it may be either high or low signal will be there. So this is digital read. Like digital read and digital write, there is an analog read also, which command which is similar to this. It will read the analog signals from that particular pin. So these are the main commands to initialize and to set high or low to particular pin. So hope you understand. Thank you for watching.